Hey, this is Rick Kasalj, injury specialist from exercisesforinjuries.com. In today's video, I wanted to go through 5 healthy hip strengthening exercises for runners. And Jenna's going to go through the first one, and then I'll go through the other 4 with you. So there you go. That's the first one, single leg bridge. I'll get Jenna to go through one more rep. Good. So what you're doing is you're in the starting position, you're lying down on the ground, knees bent, hands to the side, relaxed in the upper body. Then you're going to straighten out one of the legs, and then you're going to push through the heel, lift your hips off the ground, go to a point where on this side where your knee, hips, and shoulders are in alignment, and then come back down. And Jen will show you from another side. So in that starting position, straightening the leg out, bringing the leg up, then a nice straight line from the side, holding it for a second, and then coming it back down. Perfect. Now looking at the sets, reps, time, and intensity, for that one, sets are 1, repetitions would be 5 on each side. Time, smooth controlled movement with a good stop at that end position. And when you're getting into that end position, we really want the glutes and the hamstrings to be doing the work. So we're really targeting that hip. Now looking at intensity, ends up being light to moderate. It depends upon the strength that you have in the hip and the stability in your hips and your strength in your core. Now moving on to the second one, donkey kicks. Okay, good. So you're in a 4-point position. So in the starting position, we're in a 4-point position. Head, shoulders, and hips are in a straight line. You're going to tighten that abdominal area. Hands are underneath the shoulders, knees are underneath the hips, and then you're going to extend that leg back. And we don't want to go like that. We don't want too much movement happening in the pelvis. Coming back to the starting position, and then bring the leg back. Oh, you can go a little more. Good. And then back to the start. Good. And we'll move to the other side. Good. Back to the start. And then you go, yeah, good. Perfect. So when it comes to the sets, reps, time, and intensity, for this one, sets are 1, repetitions would be 5 on each side. So you do 5 on one side and then 5 on the other side. Time, smooth controlled movement with a good stop at the end position, and when the leg's going into the end position, really contracting with the glutes and the hamstrings, so we're targeting the hip really good. Looking at the intensity would be light with this one. I mean, it's not necessarily moderate. Now moving on to the third one, single leg hip abduction. Good. So with this one, you're lying on your side. You're stacked from this side. So when it comes to your hip over your hip, legs are stacked. The bottom arm is straight overhead, so you can rest your head on that arm. And now what you're going to do is lift that top leg up. You don't want it to pass 45 because we don't want too much movement happening in the hip. But we want to make sure that we have that hip stacked. Good. And back down. And then again. Good. And we're really targeting the outer part of the hip. Good. Now looking at the sets, reps, time, and intensity, for this one, sets are 1, repetitions would be 5, time, smooth controlled movement with a good stop at that top position. So you got a good contraction in the outer part of the hip. And the intensity for this one tends to be light. Now moving on to the next one, getting off the mat, going into standing, going through a single leg deadlift. Good, perfect. So going from the standing position, so starting position, nice standing upright, head, shoulders, and hips. You got the external weight or dumbbells to the side. So this exercise, it's better if you have some sort of weight, but it's not necessarily required. You can do it without any weight. Now Jenna's going to put her weight on one leg. That knee's going to go soft, And then she's going to bend through the hips, try to keep the body as one unit, hold the end position, then come back to the start. When she's coming back to the start, really working the glutes and the hamstrings to get her there. Good, nice and straight line, upper body and leg, and then really utilizing the glutes and the hamstrings to get back to the start. Good. Now looking at the sets, reps, time, and intensity. Sets are 1. Repetitions would be 5 on each side. Time, smooth, controlled movement with a good stop. And when returning back to the starting position, really working the glutes and the hamstrings to get there, and in order to get the most out of the hip strengthening. And then looking at the intensity ends up being moderate for this one. Now moving on to the last one, the 5th exercise. This is a split lunge. Okay, good. And then moving back into the starting position. So nice and upright. Weights are on the shoulders or in front of the shoulders. Jenna's going to take a step back. That's going to get her into the starting position. She's going to hold that position, and then she's going to bring that back knee towards the ground, and then straighten that leg out. Good. Back knee to the ground and back up. Good. And then she'll face that way. So nice and upright. Good. Taking that step back, knee to the ground. She's got the ball of the foot here on the ground. Perfect. And then when it relates to sets, reps, time, and intensity, for that last one, the split lunge, sets are 1, repetitions are 5 on one side, then 5 on the other. Time, smooth, controlled movement with a good contraction at the end of the movement. Looking at the intensity is moderate with this one as well. So there you go. Give those 5 exercises a go to improve your hip strengthening, especially if you're a runner. That'll help you when it comes to improving your running. It'll help when it comes to preventing injuries, and also will help when it relates to overcoming any type of hip pain that you have from running. Now, if you want some of my other best tips and tricks when it relates to hip pain, then what I recommend you do is click right here. I have a brand new free report called 5 Tips and Tricks That Fight Hip Pain and Tightness. Just click right here. Let me know where to send you that free report, and I'll send you that free report right away. Now, if you're watching this on a mobile device, tablet, or smartphone, head down below in the description and click the first link, which will be exercisesforinjuries.com/hips. Let me know where to send that report, and I'll send you that report right away. Now, if you got benefit from this video, make sure to like this video. If you have a question or comment for me, leave it down below in the comments section. And lastly, hit subscribe to get future pain relieving videos.